I spoke to a group of intergovernmental folks yesterday, and I said, you know, the president defines success very frequently right now, given the regrettable gridlock in Washington. We define success by how much work we can do with our state and local partners. That's why we travel so often. When you think long-term, and you put the long-term interests of your company ahead of the quarter-to-quarter earnings vortex, that's how you thrive. And when you think long-term, like gold has done, you know, you think about making sure you take care of your workers, and you think about making sure that they have, you know, when their kid is sick, you want them focused on their family. And I applaud the forward-leaningness that you have brought to the table. And I applaud so many other businesses in Rhode Island who have done the same. And I applaud Rhode Island for being one of, as you've described, only 3 states in the country that have done this. And we did this in the minimum wage, and we're doing this with paid leave. And the this in that sentence is, we are working our level best with our state and local partners to show that this can be done, and it can be done well. And as a result, I have absolutely no doubt that federal paid leave is a when question, not an if question. And you know, I really applaud your leadership on this. You've been relentless, Congressman. And some people out there think that this is a partisan issue. And I want to put this in a global frame. I have traveled in this job to Australia, to UK, to Canada, to Germany, to I'm about to go to Switzerland, and everywhere I go, we put together a meeting of the Chamber of Commerce there, so we can meet with business leaders. And every meeting I go to, I ask the following question: if you were king or queen for a day, would you get rid of your paid leave laws that are on the books? And I get usually a 1 or a 2-word answer. And the 1-word answer is no, and the 2-word answer is heck no. and I want to put this in context. The conservative ruling government in Australia was elected on the platform of expanding federal paid leave, and they were going to fund it by a tax on the 2,500 largest companies in Australia. Germany, you know, a center-right government. Canada, you know, when in the year 2000, women in the U.S. and women in Canada, we had identical female labor force participation rates. Now you fast forward to today, we're about 7.5% behind them. If we had kept pace, we'd have 5.5 million more women in the workplace. 5.5 million more women to help address serious gender gaps in the Silicon Valley. 5.5 million more to help address serious gender gaps on Wall Street. 5.5 million more people to contribute to the Social Security Trust Fund. This issue globally is not an R versus D issue or a progressive versus conservative issue. This is an issue of economic self-interest in countries across the world, where labor and business come together in total agreement. And I appreciate the doggedness of labor here in Maryland, in Rhode Island. Another critical asset that makes Rhode Island so strong is your strong labor movement. And so as we talk about this, let's make sure that we don't frame it as, oh, this is just another D versus R issue. Let's understand what the rest of the world is doing, because the rest of the world has gotten this, and the rest of the world understands that if we want to compete globally, you know, we're leaving too many people, usually, but not exclusively women, on the sidelines. And we're forcing too many choices that are indeed unconscionable choices. That's why we are going to lead on leave. Rhode Island is already leading on leave, and I'm here to say thank you for leading on leave. Today's experimentation at a state level is tomorrow's federal law. I have no doubt that paid leave is an example of that, and I have no doubt that this is a when question in terms of what we're going to do federally.